Well, what's going to be interesting with this news, Shane, with the mini LEDs, is it's a pretty convoluted lineup. I know that LG is staying with the Z for their 8K lineup, but all these TVs are going to be 4K, 8K. There's a lot of... Nano has an 8K. That's a lot of different TVs to choose from.
You know what I would do? I mean, it's just me, but look, if you're going to pull the trigger on 8K, just
You hold it for a while.
Just force it. If you're going to force it all. Go all in. You know?
Well,
I still think 8K is completely unnecessary at this point.
listen, if their LED sets this year, the QNED sets, 30,000 tiny LEDs behind the screen.
Yeah. Well, look at the aspect. They're saying the aspect ratio is going to be 10 million to 1 or something. What's the aspect ratio?
Yeah, no. Yeah, they're saying the contrast is going to be very high. Listen, yeah, I mean, if I get an LED, it will definitely be from Samsung. My problem is the QC on these TVs in the last, you know what's going on in the world.
It's got 2,500 dimming zones.
Yeah, but how much is it going to cost me?
Yeah, but a mini LED throwing around those kind of number zones doesn't mean a lot, to be honest. I mean, and we've seen the dimming zones and LEDs completely get smaller every year from the Z9D on down, other than the Z9G. What are the LED? What's the dimming zones on the Q800 or the Q950?
480, I think.
Yes, even that. I thought we'd be way past that now. What's the Z9G is 720?
Dude, this is
25,000.
But they're mini
The
LEDs.
thing is,
1,000 control zones.
You would think mathematically, right? If 8,000, look, if 8K is 4 times as many pixels, they would need 4 times as many backlights. LEDs, right? They would need 4 times as many.
Yeah.
Right. So really, they should be. I think mini. Look, on paper, mini LEDs should be perfect for 8K.
I mean, they have 8K. It says 4K and 8K. That looks thick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like the Q900R.
Well, like full array TVs are pretty thick too.
Yeah, that's thick.
I don't mind that.
What are you talking about?
With
your projector?
I don't mind no thickness.
1,000. Oh, a little.
No. I think that's the one thing they're going to have to. They definitely have to make the panels thicker.
It's a thick boy.
Don't get it twisted. It's like the Q900, irrespective of the picture quality, is a gorgeous looking TV.
Yeah, off.
I don't think there's anything that looks better than that.
Hold on. Does the TCL have that grid pattern?
The R635, I didn't. You know what? It did show up on camera with Horizon Zero Dawn. You could see it. It looked like it was a hex, like a. It did look like you could see it not in person, but it did show up on camera. But I know that the X-wide viewing angle, we talked about that with Robert, that shows up sometimes as like a hexagon kind of. You can see it as a screen door a little bit.
I've only noticed it on LG TV LEDs. I've never noticed it on anybody else's.
They have it. They have it there now or no? They have the EK.
They got the AK one, yeah.
Yesterday.
It's right in the front of the door, yeah.
All right, so with the nano cell.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, we'll look at it tomorrow.
Yeah, he was like, "Here it is." I was like, "That looks like."
You're like,
the last were like, "That don't look that good."
You're like,
"That don't look good at all."
You're like, sorry.
We're like, "Yeah, it's okay." We're like, "What are these YouTubers talking about?" This AK nano cell.
I mean, the challenge that Brass and I have had with the bigger reviewers, I mentioned that in the last video too, was...
Well, they're getting them free, that's for one.
Yeah, they're getting them free, but
them free.
To be honest, I don't... And we've talked about this too, Shane, is that a lot of the reviewers are not reviewing anything above 65 inches.
That's a glaring omission, because you can see that. You can see that grid.
Listen, let me just say this.
That's the first thing I would see.
The heavyweight division.
I love HD TV tests and his little sexual jokes, okay? I feel as though we're part of the same kind of little ding-dings, right?
He is funny.
No, I do. But I must ask him how far away he sits from these 65 or 55 inch OLEDs.
I do wonder if we're in the minority, because you and I are like 4 feet from 7.
No, listen. Okay, listen. Let me ask you guys in the comment section, okay? Let's say you go from a 55 to a 65 inch TV. Do you automatically adjust your room, your seating position to accommodate the new TV? I don't know anyone who does that. I don't know anyone who does that.
I have a perpetual tan because I'm in front. I'm that close.
Yeah. Yeah, don't give me this. I'm going to move my whole seat back so it looks. What's the point? Who does that? I know there's a chart for this. I'm getting a 77, so now I'm going to push my TV back so it still looks like.
I wasn't getting 85 and be 4 feet away.
Yeah, it's crazy. No one does that, so it's unrealistic that people are looking. You know, I've heard digital trends. Oh yeah, from 8 feet away. Who gives a shit about 8 feet away? I'm 2 feet away from this bitch. Tell me what it's like from 2 feet away.
What's funny is people tell me, like, look, what do you think about 55 inches at 16 feet away? I'm like, you might as well put an iPad on the wall.
I don't know what these guys are talking about. I'm 120 inches from 6 feet away.
This guy's swinging his...
I don't know what everybody complains about.
It's like Eddie Murphy swinging the microphone.
You're in there. Do you see any pixels? You don't see no pixels in there, right?
No. But the projection's different.
Yeah, but still.
It's different.
I will say, like, the OLED especially, even up close, it looks magnificent. When it's good, it's magnificent. But like I said, some of these reviewers are like, I'm telling you, I love, and this is a shame because I love these reviewers.
But that's why when I did the video, I got killed on it. And people that want to defend their own technology, I understand that. But I'm killing my own product. I own 2 of them.
You know what? People need to chill out. If they can't afford an OLED, they need to shut up and sit down. Okay? If they can't afford an LED TV, they need to shut up. All of this fanboy crap because you can't afford the other console or the other TV.
Is he drinking with us? He's not in the same room.
I'm not saying any of this.
Hi, I'm Brian. My channel is...
the fanboy thing. This brand loyalty.
No. It's not. It's for me. It's not that. For me. It's not that.
No, for you, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
But people, but people, weren't experiencing that, and I was kind of hoping that they weren't experiencing it. I don't want it to be a widespread problem. I have to just tell people what I see.
Yeah.
And I do think that sometimes, like Shane, I'm watching Rogue Squadron.
Well, and sometimes
the LucasArts thing is flashing.
Sometimes those brands, they don't want you to say certain things. Like sometimes, if I get an email or something, they'll give you.
That's why you gotta stay small, bro. Stay small. That way nobody sends you anything.
Well, sometimes, like, I'll get a little breakdown that says discuss this, and this, but don't discuss this.
Yeah, but listen. I don't give a shit kind of mood. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, look, if you're getting free shit, I can't trust you. You know, end of.
Well, you can trust me, bro.
No, I trust you.
I'm just kidding.
I trust you, Brian, because you're, you know, I know you. I don't know these guys. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on. Look, and here's the other thing. I'd love to have TVs to review. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, anyone who watches my channel knows that I'm cutthroat. But I think if Samsung gave me free 75-inch 8K TVs to review, I may be a little bit, you know, nicer about it.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's easier having TVs from Value Electronics. So, you know, when they lend me the...
No, but it's different because you're getting it from a store.
No, I understand.
You're not getting it from Sony themselves.
No. I get that. What I'm trying to say, though, is I feel like as somebody who's a professional reviewer, it's much easier to be cavalier about a TV when it's not yours. So even when I was reviewing the 950H, I'm honest about what I saw, its deficiencies, where it struggled, but I wasn't as vested when it's yours. So when I watch these channels deliver good news one day, and then the next day this sucks, and then this is good, it's like every day. It's easier when it's not your panel. So for me to sit up there and talk about how mine is a mess, when that's my dream TV. The C8 was my dream TV, the 77-inch. So to find...
You know what I love about you, Brian? It's like I've watched your videos, but like, you know, I went through a binge.
They're very polished. They're very well edited.
Yeah.
The camera's top notch.
No. I was watching you continuously. I didn't know. It's like you're not afraid. You're one of those rare reviewers who's not afraid to compliment other TVs even if you don't have it.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I really do. But when people say to me, "What's the best TV out there?" To me, the best TV is the one that is the best for you.
Exactly. And it's subjective. Look, for instance, I don't understand why people have to bash the other TV just because. You know, my whole point is just don't act like these TVs don't have problems. The QC on these TVs this year has been abysmal.
I started the channel because of a bunch of defective panels.
Your issues with the Samsung, right? So,
what's the matter? What? Are you cooking? Damn, bro. Freaking shame, man. No, the QCs that I had, I mean, to your point, and I can't see the comments from here. I'm sorry. Is talking about people being too picky, and I've done this video a few times where people are just returning TVs to return them. I've never returned a TV because I don't like it. I mean, I've had dead pixels, vertical banding, blue line defects on the highest end panels. We talked about the CX. I wasn't even looking for defects. I have the 55-inch. I barely even, I did a ton of videos on it, but I didn't notice any deficiencies with it. But when I had the 77-inch out of the box, I knew there was problems with it.
Yeah.
So,
and look, guys, we're not one of those. We're not those. Look, there are people out there who have the CX who are very happy with them, and that's great for you. You've probably got a wonderful panel, and you shouldn't go looking for issues.
No, don't go looking. That's I would say.
Yeah, well, no. The reason we have found these things is because they have distracted us watching normal content. I didn't do the 5% grey. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do the whole. The only thing I did do initially was the what's that one? The screen. The different colours. The screen uniformity check.
Yeah, but so to your point, Brass, was when I got my CX in March, I ran no tests on it. I just immediately put it against the 950H, and I will say that I had the B8 for a time, and that thing was amazing out of the box. The CX definitely took some messing with the settings to get used to it, but I didn't notice any banding on it at all. And then when I got my CX, there was problems. Then when I got the Sony A9S Master Series, again, I noticed no problems with that picture either. It wasn't until I really went looking that I saw banding on all of them, even on the Master Series A9S. And we talked about that with Modern Warfare, that intro. After you drop the bombs in Modern Warfare, if you go into that dark room, it's a perfect test for banding. And the A9S has it too. It's just you have to really look for it. Where my CX, I don't have to look for it.
But this is the thing. I mean, this is what I told Whisper as well. Look, what I'm saying about the CX and its flaws, I believe it's kind of like a certain batch at a certain time. Like I swapped my CX out, and it's practically a perfect TV, more or less.
So that's what I'm hoping for, and I do hope for anybody who's watching this. Oh, so we were saying about that anybody that has these floating blacks. If you're saying you don't have them, then it's something that they should return. And I know LG is very good about replacing at least one.
No. Yeah, for sure. Get it swapped out, people. Because look, these TVs are not cheap. Do not settle. Don't settle at all. Not for TVs at these prices.
The challenge is when you start returning more than one. And Shane and I talked about that. You do get this. This anxiety to it takes you out of it. You can't relax. But my CX, actually, the more I watch it, the worse it is. So I was watching with Lord of the Rings, and they were in that cave troll scene. And I have a love-hate with that transfer. I love the way it looks in some images. And there's that scene where the trolls are crawling in. Not trolls. What are they? The cave. Not the cave troll. Right before trolls, right before the "they shall not pass" scene. When they're all right, yeah. So as they're all crawling towards them, the orcs, my blacks were crawling with them. It was and I told you watching Rogue One, Forrest Whitaker's hair was crawling up the screen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think they don't know what we mean by crawling blacks. It's almost like the black step by step is trying to catch up with the next scene.
Well, people have said posterization is the term for it.
I guess so. But it's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah, so I took this update, and people told me that it solved a lot of things, and I'm very wary of updates and people telling me, "Oh man, this I've yet to see an update solve anything on any of my TVs."
No panel's going to be perfect, but as long as it does enough, I still have certain issues with very bright whites. I understand that this new software update is supposed to fix that, but even if it doesn't, it's 3 or 4% of all my. Do you know what I mean? It happens 3 or 4% of the time. That's more than doable because the other things on the TV work so well. Do you see what I'm saying? That it makes sense.
So my fear of updates, though, goes back to Samsung with the Q90R. Is that if you start messing with my game mode, where you're disabling local dimming, I don't believe that TVs are bricked by updates, Shane. I mean, I don't know if you think that someone's bricking TVs, but
I don't think so.
For me, it's if you're altering the picture quality.
That's that guy. That's a Deadpool guy.
But
oh, you mean quantum?
To me, if you compromise my black level, like so in Q90R, that's a gorgeous image. Q9FN was my favorite LED for years after the Z9D. If you're going to do an update to increase or lower input lag, but then ruin my image quality, I'm going to have an issue with that. So my 900E has been offline since I bought it. The CX, my March one was perfect. Not perfect. It was as good as it could be out of the box. It didn't have the updates, but that new CX, or the one I had in September, that had the updates already, and it was a mess. So we'll see with the new panel, but I'm really conflicted with it. I really do feel like taking a knee and maybe waiting till next year. We've talked about this daily.
But you know what it is? Because my experience with the OLED was very much like yours the first time. You know me, you and I were talking about this. I was going to do the same, but I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I took a chance and got it swapped over, because it's a night and day difference.
So you don't see any issues that Brian sees whatsoever?
No. I've got no issues with blacks. The only issues I have are like I was saying before, like you know when it's only on certain movies. Like
this is pretty extreme. I've never seen that before in it.
No. Brian's is it's crazy. I want to say that my first TV. Was like Brian's, but Brian's was perhaps still worse, I'd say.
So yesterday I should have brought, I have to have Shane come see it. It was Max Fury Road, 4K Blu-ray. I pop it in on the Panasonic UB820, and the initial scene where he's standing by the car where he steps on the lizard, my clouds were like cubes.
Okay. I didn't have that. I checked that, by the way, after you told me that.
I mean, like cubes, like 8-bit. I thought I was watching Minecraft. I was like, damn, I put in the 480p? I put in the standard definition disc? And
Brian, that doesn't even happen. And I will say this, and I don't know what's happened there, but we had the issues with the clouds as well. Don't have that issue anymore. It looks fine.
Now, I'm going to tell you this, though. If I find out that you have poor vision, I'm going to be upset. Like, if you tell me, if you come out and say, like, by the way, bro, I did go to Lens Crafters and my vision's bad.
Bro, I review 4K Blu-ray, and I'm pretty accurate. Don't say that.
Come on, baby.
Baby, get me in trouble, baby. Yeah. I mean, I just think, look, there's no such thing as a perfect TV, but I just think if you want a fully featured TV, the CX is the one.